Yo, what's going on, fam? I'm FamiLei, and today I wanted to talk about why I turned down a six-figure income coming right out of college. Woo! I wanted to have this talk because it seems like money is one of the taboo topics that families don't talk about. Growing up, I was very curious about finances. I knew exactly how much my parents made, how they did taxes, where they invested, and I understand that a lot of people don't have that kind of knowledge growing up. But if money isn't taught to you by your parents, there has to be another way for you to get that information. For me, my mentality about money came from my parents, as well as this thing called YouTube. I don't know, maybe you've heard of it. And I wanted to clearly state that I'm not making this video to boast about turning down a six-figure job. I just really want to help you align with your true selves and your values so that you can make the right decision for yourself. So a little bit of backstory about me. I was blessed to go to a top public university and graduated May of 2018. In the summer after my third year or junior year of college, I was lucky enough to land an internship at a company. After working hard at the end of this summer internship, I wasn't offered an official job, but I spoke with my supervisor and he told me that if I wanted to come back, just to send him an email. So we're gonna call this offer number 1. But after getting this offer, I didn't stop my search. I was a computer science student in the engineering department at my university. So to prepare for future interviews and hopefully gain more offers, I practiced behavioral interviews, really knew my resume inside and out, and could talk about every single project that I did. Studied technical questions, but I didn't really study coding questions because I knew I didn't want to work at a top 4 tech giant. These are the Microsofts, Google, Facebook, Amazons, yeah. So I applied online to 20 plus companies and their positions that were open. But just applying online didn't really go too well. Most of the times I just didn't hear back, which is normal. So don't expect to hear back from every single company you apply for, because that would be stupidly insanely good. So I think what started to turn things around for me was I attended my university's engineering career fair. And for us, it was very early in the academic year. School started in August and the career fair was in September or early October. And it was great. I went around, talked to companies that I had interest in, and I even talked to companies that I didn't really know, but went up to them, had discussions, got to know them, and found really cool companies, startups, nonprofits. Oh shit. Okay, my sister just got an offer from Capital One. Damn. Sister, if you're watching this, congrats, that's awesome. And if you watch a lot of entrepreneurs on YouTube, a lot of them will say that college isn't required in today's world. And I agree to a certain extent. If you want to go into a profession that requires one, such as being a doctor or a lawyer, then yeah, you kind of have to get your degree. But it's not necessary, but I will say it definitely helped me get in the door and get that initial interview. So at the career fair with some of the companies that I talked to, I had interviews the following day. One thing I regret about the career fair is that I didn't do enough company research. There were so many companies there, and if I did, I could have narrowed down my search. And some of these companies that I got interviews with, I didn't really feel strongly about them, but it was still good practice, and maybe I would learn something new about them that would change my mind. So with one company, after going through multiple rounds of interviews, I got my second offer. So we're gonna call this offer number 2. But my search didn't stop there, I still kept looking. So some time went by and I actually got referred by a friend to the company that she was working at. And with some companies, if an employer refers someone who eventually works for them full time, they get a signing bonus of a couple grand. And with that company, after a email screening, phone interview, and an in-person dinner, I was offered my $100,000 salary job. We're calling this offer number 3. And with those 3 offers, I really sat down and contemplated about which I wanted to take. So I'm gonna break down these 3 offers. So there were many different facets I used to decide which job I wanted to take, but the 3 main areas were pay, work-life balance, and benefits. And the locations were basically all the same. I live in the DC metropolitan area, so all the jobs were just around Northern Virginia. The first offer was with an organization that was making strides to attract a lot of young people, bringing them in before all the baby boomers retired. And this organization had mid-pay and fantastic benefits, probably the best out of all 3 offers. The second offer was with the company that had a great culture. When I was there and talked to some of the employees, they were all pretty young. Everyone came in all together at the same time. You got to know the other employees coming in who were typically young and fresh out of college. And it seemed like it could be a really fun environment to be in. Unfortunately, the pay at offer number 2 was the lowest by a pretty large margin, and I knew with the kind of job that I was going into with this one, the work-life balance would be tough. I'm talking about 40 to 50 hours of work per week. And the third offer was fiscally the most appealing offer. It was the 6-figure job, but the things about this one was the work-life balance would have been very tough. I would be working a lot of hours in a high-stressed environment, but the benefits for this were pretty good. But the thing about this one is I wouldn't know the team that I was going into, and a lot of the times people quit or leave their jobs because of their supervisors or their coworkers. So this was just with offer number 3, this was just generally a big question mark. But that money though. And taking all of this into account, I decided to go with offer number 1. I had interned there the summer before. I knew the team, I liked my supervisor, and all the people there were very intelligent and I could learn from them. And being a student just about to graduate from undergrad, I had no intention of going back to school, but the organization does cover part-time grad school if I ever change my mind. And spoiler alert, I actually did change my mind and I'm taking a grad school class right now. So at this time, I was still in the process of applying and interviewing with other organizations. So after deciding which offer I was going to take, I dropped the interviews with those companies because I didn't want to waste their time and mine. So before all of this, I kept telling myself that money wasn't everything, but I didn't really feel so strongly about that until I was faced with a 6-figure job offer and decided to turn that down. I was fortunate enough to be in a position where I could choose and to have a couple offers that would be great financially no matter which offer I decided to choose. I know for a lot of people, they don't have the luxury of picking between jobs, or maybe they have 2 to choose from, and maybe one offer just doesn't pay you enough even if it is an offer that you really love. You'll just have to take into account your own living situation and decide if you can take that monetary hit to pursue something you actually like doing. For me, the biggest thing was having a great work-life balance. I don't work more than 40+ hours a week, and I'm very happy about that. With the organization that I currently work at, it's a pretty relaxed environment in the fact that there's no hard deadlines because technically we're not for profit. The work I do currently is a lot of research and development. I see what works and I take that and experiment. It's not an environment where you compete with your coworkers, but it fosters collaboration, which is something that I really am fortunate to have. And not working 40+ hours a week really opens up my time to try new things, to look for communities, and to start side projects. And now I'm even taking a grad course in data analytics. And some of you may think I'm crazy for turning down 6 figures, and I don't know, maybe I am. But I will say, if you ever come into a situation like mine, you really have to do some introspection to see what you value in life. But where you work and spend 40+ hours a week, most of your life doing, plays an important part on where your life is headed. Right now, I'm just living a good life, being well off financially, and always trying to improve myself. And I think it's pretty interesting that the people with the most money in this entire world say that money doesn't buy you happiness. And these people are at the top bathing in $100 bills, so I'm sure there is credibility in their statement. But it is important to realize that the absence of money or not having enough money to cover your basic financial needs will make your life miserable. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this story and I hope you took some things away that you can apply to your life. If you want me to talk more about money or lifestyle to help you improve and live a more intentional life, leave a comment down below. To save this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for weekly videos. That's all for today. Peace!